Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Maria. Yes, we are going to begin our session today, just like always, 11:10, so that I can give the others the privilege to join before we can take off. Welcome, everybody. Okay. Good morning once more. Please confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, welcome. So we are just going to go together like this. Only four of us. It's going to be very. It's better served this way, but I'm not saying it's better. But let's just go continue. So welcome to another week of Apexium DSF 2.0. Today, what you are going to do is going to enter into AI backend development and APIs. Just like I said last week, this class is not going to be. I think it's last week was very complex because of I actually dig into the uh, how would I say complicated part of our front end. But now we're going to go into backend, which is my favorite part. Maybe it's going to be a favorite part too. So a little bit of recap of last week. Last week we actually did AI assisted UI design, which actually use Canva and everything. Popular AI front end tools, Canva AI, Figma AI. We actually use them all. Our responsible layer and user components. This one actually we actually did the two, and I think all of your assignment that you drop in the group are actually following this too. So and you actually build a personal portfolio, which I drop on the group, which was not mine, it was somebody, Alex, somebody said, like, I don't even remember. Said. But today, what you are going to go into is the back end development, which is the behind the scenes of everything. So, once again, if you have any question, you can raise up your hand and ask me before while I'm discussing because I seem to talk fast. So, first one is API, REST, and HTTP protocol, HTTP methods. This one you see a lot of people can do this REST, and something like that. HTTP protocol method we are going to see too. Then database, which are there are two types of database, SQL and non-SQL database. We are going to see authentication with AI assistance and live coding plus hand-on build, which is the last one every single class because you remember this class, it's hands-on practical. So let's go. So at the end of this class, you're going to understand something. The first one is understanding the back-end rule. See how it powers every web application. Back-end is very important. Second one, the back-end code with AI, which is what you have been doing through since the beginning. Use AI to scaffold out and controllers, everything like that. Then understand the REST, APIs, and HTTP. There's no get, post, build, part, and delete, which are the basic things. Learn database basic design, model later with table and collections. Build authentication with AI, have secure restriction and login. Debug and document with AI. Fix error, route clear the faster. Okay, this one sneak on me, but as we can see, this one is very easy to do so. So, first of all, what is back-end development? The back-end is the engine room of a web application. It runs basic logic, talks to database, expose API, handle authentication, and process require request the front end can handle on its own. So the main thing to take on this one here is this first one. Engine room. Simple as short. What is backend? The engine room of web application. This short definition is the best definition actually for basically. But if you want to sound like a pro, you can say it's slow. It's run logic, building logic, talk database, expose AI, and something like that. But the first one is the engine room. So look at this chin here. This is how the back end and front end work. Basic logic, rules that drive the app. Every single application had its own set of rules, which are basically you can say the protocol that drive the app. Databases where data lives and process. API, this is what has been coming on again and again and again. API is called application packets interface, I think. Oh, this is how back end and front end actually how do I say communicate on application, verify who users are. This is what this is actually the main thing. Everybody's use this one. Okay, I think this one just in a moment. Let me server side. What's wrong with this one? Because actually overlapping. So let me just hit it from now. Good. I think now is better. So this one is whatever we have. I'll continue. So server side processing computation done off device, which means this server side already something that I call client side and server side. These two things actually I have not actually talk about them, but let me just go with that. Client side is what the client is seeing, like the front end, that will be the client side. While the server side is the back end, which will be where the server is. It will say server is where the data is being kept. The server is like a storeroom. Server, if you see a server, automatically it does the combination of databases. That's what comes a server. A server is where everything is kept, where the logic, everything here is on the server. APIs, database, the business logic, the authentication, everything is on the server. That's what comes to become called a server. A server can be, a server can even be your laptop self, but not like a laptop. The laptop can be like a standard laptop. I will just keep it like this, and then you can connect, how let's say, ports from the USB port or something port that you can connect to other laptops. Then that laptop can be where every single information is being stored from different laptop. That laptop really is going to become a server. So I hope you understand. Okay, I'm just going to say there's no question. Okay, so I'm just continuing saying there's no question. So the way front end and back end communicates. This is the front end, this is the back end. The front end will send an API request to request for something, while the back end will send in JSON response. We're going to see this one. This JSON is something, it's a language that how it's to respond from this one. What user sees and click, logic, data, and security. This API request, if I'm going to give a short example about this, let's just look at a restaurant. You walk into a restaurant and how do I say, in the waiting room or whatever, where you used to sit down and have table, the waiter will come with a pen and paper or something like that, will take on your request. So that thing that is taken on, that will be your API request. This one here. So after that, she will go into the kitchen, which will be the back end, and will give the chef these things here. Then the chef will prepare your food and everything. Then the waiter will come and give you back your food. So that's how these two things is to work. Instead of food, they're going to get back a request. Instead of request, your waiter requirements, your food requirement is going to be an API request. That is simple formation of front end and back end, which is very important. So understanding API, what is an API? Okay, this one to already come back to here. What is an API? Why API? Why API matter? Client server communication, request and response. I will explain this one myself. Okay. What is an API? A contract that lets two program talk. Exactly. So this is how two programs talk. Front end and back end, that's what an API is. Real world example, real world app. Get something city. Okay. If say you have an application like this, you see when you actually use a weather page, you actually bring out like the weather, the temperature, anything in kind of a graphic way. So like how mostly the graphics is to happen like graphic, but this is what's there. This is what this one is going to bring in the backend. Instead of be showing everything like cloudy, so this is what it's going to be showing. Just this one. This is the JSON. City, Kano, temperature 34, condition sunny. Or more like you said, condition will be cloud or something like that. So there are a lot of them. Let's just take this as an example. This is what the backend is going to be. That's what to say the JSON. This is the JSON file, the JSON response. Then the front end will take this one and turn it into text, into graphic, so that the user can. If you are pasting this one, the user will not have time to be reading this one. It will just go. User wants something that will make his eyes stay, wants something to fit one side, wants to see something beautiful. So if you're just going to show this one on the page, the user will not stay, just go. And you want the user to stay. Why API matter? They connect app, server, and devices. They connect apps, services, and devices together. So exactly, API is like the bridge between two things, between the front end and the back end. Not just the front end and the back end, between the front end and X and third parties. Because if they are going to build a weather app, or like a theme app or something like that, just as an example, or anything that has to do with data. If you say you're going to be taking the data yourself, you're going to suffer. You cannot do it. So that's why this API is very, 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 very important to understand this. This API is what actually a lot of, as I say, developers, automators, AI and DOTs, everybody is using, because this API is very, very, very important. Everybody has to use the API. If you are going to build something that want to take with, let's say, this modern data application that they say that is going to have jam application, record job application, DSTV registration, everything, subscription, sorry, everything like that. So they use this API. This is what they send to the server of the DSTV or MTN or Z or WAEC or JAM, and then the WAEC will send them back the JSON. So this API is very, very important. That's why securing your API is very, very important too. The way you send the API and receive the API have to be very, very strict, because that's where the hackers is to come in. If you send this API, they will send you something that is not correct. You click it, then they will take over everything. So that's why this API is very important. Client server communication. I think I've already asked this explained this a little bit about client asks, server answers. That's why I say client side and server side. The client will ask the question while the server will respond to question. Request, response, request and response. Every call has an ask and an answer. This is what the front end does. It requests. That was called like ask the question. While this is what the backend does, it responds. If you say this one, let's say this one, get whether city can. This is the get request. This will be the method to get. The get means you are going to go inside the server and get this code. Whether city can, this is the requirement. This is the city you are going to get a specific place requirement. Or the weather will the app API server will give you back this. Get it. This will be a response. What this is going to be a request. You say this is the request. This is the response. I want to see this in here now. So, what I want us to come, the REST API and HTTP method. 5 core methods cover almost every single thing. Everything REST API needs to do. This is every single thing in API requests, in every single, how do I say, every single company, every single request, company, Google, Amazon, everything that use API requests or anything, everyone is into this one here. These 5 powerful things here. 5 powerful, this is where they're actually there. The first one is the get request, which means fetch the list or let's say something like the get request, which means to retrieve the data. Get request is go inside the data and just get it and then bring it back. Mostly this one I can actually something that used to be like read request, get or read request. It's still the same thing, but I think this is more the common modern time. Well, back then this actually used to call a read request, read. But this is more understandable actually, because read means just to read something, but get means to go and see what you want and then get it. That's why they're actually trying to get request. The get request, the post request. The post is the creation of something. If you create something, that means you're going to post it, which is word creation of data. The put request is the replacement of data, which means you create something and you want to replace it with something. So you're actually putting it in the instead of this created data. So please, if you have any question, raise your hand. You are getting into the nitty-gritty. Any question? So no question. Let me continue. So the put request is just like I was saying, updates. This one put an update that actually go. This one, let's say creates, because that's like this creates. And this is the update. Sorry, this is the replace something I said. So most of the time, this one here, I think they are not. We don't actually use this one very, very much, but this one is something like this. But let's just use this one like these examples. The difference between these two, they are very, very similar, but they have very, very similar. See, let's say you have to update an entire profile, change just an email address. This one, if you are going to replace, just like exactly replace data, you create something like, say, that has name and email. Your name is Sadiq, email is, let's say, sad@gmail.com, something like that. So If you are going to use the put request is going to change every single thing that you just created, from Sadiq to maybe Isa, and the email to isa@gmail.com, something like that. So that's what the put request is. While the patch request, it updates part of the data. If say you build same example as Sadiq and the email, so this one is just going to change the email only. That means you're just going to update part of the data, not change the entire particular data. Delete, which is just direct to the point, to delete. So actually now we got this another one, which is actually to, how will I say it? Yes, to delete, but just a pick up example, a pick up secret about database, just to know, not seen in this world. Now, by saying now, it's ever deleted automatically. That means if you delete something on your page, or on your particular phone, or anything like the server or anything, it's never deleted from the server. It's always there. Because if you see something that's called recover something from particular place, like iPhone have it, and even even I think Google has it too. You say after the require it after 30 days, that just it is still on the server. The only thing it is to do is just to remove you from the access. If you leave something from your phone or from your particular site, from the Google account or something like that, or email or something like that, if you did something, the Google server will remove you the request from able to get it. They will remove that request, but it is still on the server. Nothing is permanently deleted from the server from nowadays. I think it's somehow scary, but yes, nothing is even your phone. Nothing is ever permanently deleted. Even if you do something, even if it's iPhone, they say permanently deleted after, it is a lie. Very sorry to say. Nothing is ever deleted, because if even if the phone is actually in the phone, the way you just used to minimize it into bits. Like we know there's byte, there's bits, there's kilogram, there's gig, something like this, kilobits or something like that. So it just has to reduce the file from that big size to small size and still inside the phone, something like that. Because that one have an advantage, because if your computer like crashes or something like that, that's what it is used to actually retrieve the data. So because of that bit and something like that. So it is a rule that nothing is deleted. Even now, if I do something, I'm very sorry. I just delete it. In the server, if you see I deleted something, it's not deleted, like you just stay in the server. So just to remove the access instead of putting a tool to just be false. So you can actually see it and actually use it in some place. So AI for backend development, this is where we want to enter. Also remember AI assisted engineering. AI helps build move faster across the whole backend cycle. The first thing is, because I think we're going to be using, I think the first I actually say we're going to be using JavaScript. So we're going to be using Express.js for this one. Then Express.js routes can fall endpoint in seconds. This is what's actually the server JS. You're still going to see that. Right controllers, business logic, and ready to edit. Controller, just like how the name say, it is the controller of the particular logic. Like let's say as an example user, or auth controller, how it's going to authenticate, or or sell controller, how it's going to sell a product, and then after you sell that product, it's going to show in the database that okay, one thing has moved, like a particular product has reduced in the stock value. So it's going to update that number from, let's say, 3 to 2, something like that. Creates API endpoint. This API endpoint is like create API full request response handling. The creating of crude, this one here, this is what this one does. Create API endpoints. Then generate crude operation. Yeah, what is what I want to see. This crude, you say, I told you before, it's actually instead of read, it's create. Create, which is going to be posts. I'll ask this question later. Create, it means post. Read means get. Update is patch. Then delete is delete. So I told you that most of the time we don't actually see this put, because it's actually very similar, and it is hardly ever that you see they will change the entire thing they created. So that's why we don't actually it's actually mostly code operation. Create, read, updates, and delete. This is what they actually use to actually remember a lot of things. So create, read, update, and delete is very, very important code operation to just remember them. Then debug backend code, spot issues and suggest fix. I think is actually we have actually done this since far beyond even our first year using AI to debug and debug code. So yes, but this backend is very, very important because the backend is where the hacker or the unauthorized user attacks in a particular database. The front end, yes, there's some particular things that can actually use the front end, but if you want, okay, a short secret, just another secret again. What the hacker or unauthorized user wants is your data, and the data is stored in a database. So if a hacker wants to get something, a particular information about you, because how let's say your password or anything is generated based on your particular preference. Like most people use their phone numbers, the name combination, their date of birth combination, their how I say some people using their state, their favorite toy, their favorite pet, their favorite the mom's name, something like that. A lot of information. I think maybe I just listed one or two of one of the people here use that particular pattern of password. So that's what the hacker is going to attack. If he has that information, he has your name, your mom's name, your phone number, your everything. So that's what he just want to see that now. Okay. Now he's going to start mixing up things, generating information, generating that, until he's successful. If he's not successful, fine. Because of now we are in the modern technology, I think because Apexium is a cybersecurity was, so I'm just going to give you an example. If you are going to enter a particular page, instead of saying you writing the name, just go with suggested password, because any single thing you write, it's going to be similar to the previous password, because actually you don't want to forget. You don't want to write something that you forget. So you're going to make something that is actually familiar to your environment. So that's exactly environment. That is what you call your data. Your data is going to be stored in your phone in database of any single particular website. So that's why the back end is very, very important to know how to protect it and everything. So we're going to okay, this one, write documentation, clear docs for every endpoints for us beginners. We're going to let AI do this one here. So popular tools for back end developments. AI tools for back end development. So again, they're the same things, so they're not different. The same thing, they're not different at all. ChatGPT, best for designing API structure. API structure. Yes. I think they're going to use this first one here, for example, before we can actually get. I want to use this one for example. Because API, okay, no question. So before I continue, any question? Let me continue before I continue. Any question? Okay, no question. So I hope we are all going and I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, thank you, Vladimir. I told you I responded. Thank you. Okay, so let me continue. So again, ChatGPT, API design, API structure is very important because you have to design, just like you say, the front end. This one, let's just use our past class. This one can be, let's say, the wireframe of a particular page. Wireframe, which means the blueprint of the API structure, like how you are going to structure API, where you going to create, where you going to use a code, a put request, a read request, a read request, something like that. That's how. Cursor AI, writing route in editor. This one, I'm not going to use Cursor. I'm going to use anti-gravity today. I want to use anti-gravity, very, very powerful developer tool. Very, very powerful. Then cloud, complex backend refactor, because everybody here should just take cloud as a secret weapon, like your trump card. That's the cloud. Cloud is very, very powerful. The Sonnet model is very, very powerful. I've said that before myself. It's more powerful than the other one. Gemini, this one just a little bit in between. Schema is a blueprint of a particular structure of a particular page. I want to see this one and docs and animation. This is where we actually use schema is not that strong, but the Gemini is not strong, but it's very good. In pilot for pilots. It's still inside this one here. What I want to use anti-gravity here for our live session. So back-end development workflow. Just like how do I say how front end is, back end too will come from an idea. So let's think. Okay, let me just go. I want to make today's class mostly practical, but sure. Let's say we have an idea, define a feature and goals, an idea of a particular project before you can actually build the back end. Okay, let's see. If you are going to start thinking like a developer or thinking like a senior developer, you have to start thinking of logics, not just how to build the application. What do you want to build? I want to build an application that's going to help user access their, let's say, WhatsApp, Twitter, and everything at the same time in one platform. Even though there are some platforms that's Twilio or something like that. So let's say, example like Twilio. So that idea, okay. After I just think of that soft idea on front end, look at it by side. Okay, how am I going to achieve that? Not just the idea, how am I going to achieve that? That's where the back end comes in. How am I going to achieve that particular thing? Prompts, then you can actually give your AI, JWT, that exactly idea, but with the question, how am I going to do that? Not just like build this one. The AI will just go ahead and just do it. But as a backend developer, you have to actually know how you are going to achieve that particular goal, connecting all those WhatsApp, Instagram, X, Telegram, everything maybe in the same platform so that the user can just access it. For like I say, like a company base that can actually there is to just like Apexium. Let me use my company, the place I work for, to get credibility. Let's say Apexium, it has a lot of social media and it's okay, and it needs to make posts on different social media. So okay, let's say you want to actually have a particular platform that's just going to make one post and can go to different, or maybe post and then you can tweak it instead of going each and every one of them to do that. So let's go that. After that, then API design. Describe, plan, endpoint, and method. Method meaning the CRUD request, the query operation. They create, okay, this one is not a question. They create, they read, the update, and delete operation. And maybe let's say put that inside there. So that's what this thing say. How you are going to, okay, where are you going to create? Where are you going to read? Where are you going to fetch? Where are you going to do that? Where are you going to do that? Something like that. All of those complex things. You have to sit down and think about them. That's why I actually like the backend, the internet again. So, and then the database. Database is very, very, very important. Data design the schema. A schema, how do I say this? I don't actually, a schema, the blueprints of a particular model. So, let's just stay for a second, just think of that. A model, because we see actually say the API model, something model, something model, something model, but let's just pick a simple model. A simple model, let's say a user. A user that has, before you enter a page, they are going to ask you like your full name, your email address, your gender, your password, and then confirm password. Let's say those four things are what's come up with the user. That is what you call a particular model. The user model, before actually giving, every user has similar trait. Before you actually enter a particular website, you have to put those things. That means every single user is going to use the same schema, the same blueprint, the same information of the put. So that's where you actually create a schema. That means every single user, if you're a user, you come to the page, you have this particular blueprint to put. That means the schema, the first one is going to be your name, which is going to be part of the schema, the email, which is going to be part of the schema, the password is going to be part of the schema, and maybe let's say the gender, and let's say how do I say the workplace or where how they are part of something like that. It's all going to be part of the first schema. So designing a schema is very, very important because that is the backbone of every single information you want to get. Because you want to get a particular information that is going to be useful in later on. Like because let's say that gender, but that male and female. Let's say I'm building I think why scientists do this one research. We are building a particular website. Let's say how let's say there's going to be sport websites, sports, sport, like sport like football and everything and basketball. And you want to get more female users into that. So just maybe going in between the names and saying this one name is Fatima, so she must be a male, she must be a female, sorry. This one name is that, so that's where that gender side is going to be very important to actually put. Because as the back end developer or the database, because if you're a back end developer, yeah, the API structure, yeah, database developer, yeah, the API structure, everything is going to be on you. So if you want to actually like be going with that research and you want to see how many female users you have, instead of going and be looking at the names in the database, it's going very hard. So you just can actually call of them, like get all that has gender that's called to female. That means you want to get all of the users that are going to be that are female in your particular website. So that one you can actually use it to actually improve. Maybe okay, why is this one not going up? What are you going to do? And by the end of the year, you can use it in like business logic. That's how every single website they are actually doing nowadays. Maybe if they are focusing on male, they can put multiple things. They are focusing on female. I don't know, so I don't want to be any offensive, anything to say that's going to offensive. I'm just going to keep that there. I can put girly stuff there. Let's just go that word. So next one is the backend code. AI writes routes, controllers, and models. So this route thing, I think most of us don't know actually route, but let's just look at our example. It's route here. What is this one? This one is a doc slash. Route is how you can actually access a particular website, like the google.com. That means if you put that one here, but that one there, that is what you call the Google routes. I think I've done it in the first class, which is going to be how you are going to access that particular site. So that routes, that means slash something, slash presentation, slash login, slash sign up, slash home. All of those things, those are what you call routes. That's going to be, this is going to be like the home routes, and slash is going to be the secondary route. Slash, the first one, this one, you're going to access it. That's where you access different pages in a particular page. Testing, which is actually, you are going to see this one, you are going to see how to test it to make sure it's working. And again, testing, because this is actually the backend, you cannot actually use like front end code to test it. I have to use another particular platform to test it, but I'm going to use Thunder Clients, which is a, how do I say it, extension on anti-gravity. We're going to see this deployment. You have to ship it to live API. Also, make sure you understand this one. Live API, not live application, because the backend cannot go without the front end. Maybe you can build something for front end only, like a landing page. I think I've seen one of you, I think it was, I can't remember him exactly. Yes, it was Ibrahim. He actually created portfolio for a particular, it's supposed to be a landing page, because I think he was showing up his particular photography talent like that. So that's what you call, that's where you use a landing page instead of portfolio. A landing page. Still, if you are still familiar with that V0, ask it will do everything for you. So ship it to be a live API. So this API, they are what you call public and private API. Because I think in 20, I cannot remember when, but I think there are two things there should be like Instagram and Instagram. You see them that have different particular icon. I don't know what search will actually show you, but I've read it before. The public API is where every single user can access, every single user can actually participate, can actually use. But the private API is very important. It's where it's actually an authorized user. A particular user that have a particular role to use it. Because while giving a user has to have two things. Authentication, which is going to be mostly token or something that actually role, user or admin. Admin can access every single thing, can actually get, delete, could do every single thing. But a user can't do that. A user can maybe always create and read and maybe delete some. As I say, not really fully delete, just like you stick the access. So as a developer, I have to start thinking like that. Even though I don't think it's somehow unauthorized or unethical, but that's how the world is nowadays. Nothing you delete is actually fully deleted. Nothing. Just go with the flow. So the public API is what every single user can actually get. Everyone can actually get the public API. While the private API is what you have to. Just see now, for example, you have to pay. Let's see that one. You have to pay to get that private API, so that it's going to be on particular API. So introduction to databases. Okay. So before moving forward, you're actually into another dive. So any questions? Any question? Let me come and see. Any question? Any question? Are you with me? Halim say yes. Oh, job. Okay, sorry. Okay, okay. I never noticed. So no question. Should I continue? Okay. So let me continue since there's no question. So database. This is where everything is actually stored. Database shortcuts. So I think that's introduction that yeah, is where you organize storage for application data. Exactly. Because if say you're going to store anything in like how will I say in any single formation without any particular protocol or any particular system to organize it, that's where this switch is coming. SQL and NoSQL. If you are going to fetch that particular data, because if you just work for the meantime, I said the main thing the user wants is he wants everything to be actually fast. And this database, the way you optimize it and the way you use it and the way you store your data, that's where it differentiates from a failure from a let me just use the word stupid web application, because if your web application does not actually fetch data very, very fast, it just takes time before it fetch information. It takes time before it's logging your page. You're going to be fed up of it and just leave it, because you want something very, very fast. Just type anything. You just take like 1 to 3 highest 5 seconds to be back with a response. And your calculation is not correct, something like that. So it's what you call SQL and non-SQL. SQL, structured tables versus flexible document. I think this one is structured tables. Postgres SQL, use SQL. Strict Sigma, strong relationship, great for structured data. This relationship, we're going to get to it and think for and for. Table and collection, difference between table and collection, group of related records. Okay. Record slash document, a single entry within a table, which is the record, and document is the entire document. So let us go in, dive in. No, this one, let's go in. Okay. Let me explain. I thought there was some explanation before. So SQL database stored its data in a table. Just like Paul, this is the perfect example. I think any if you're like studying software engineer or anything related to software in your university, there's what you call waterfall model, or the waterfall model, which is particular traditional model, which is actually where you actually, before you build something, you have to get every single requirement from the user. Every single thing the user wants, every single thing from H to the data structure, the front end development, every single thing. Then you go back and then you build anything. You build it. Then after you build it, then you go back. That's where they usually use the traditional model. That means it's not agile. New model is agile development, where you can actually user is in flow of what you are building. You build something, you send the user, is okay. Should I continue? Then you say yes. Because if you have the traditional model, you finish every single thing, then you say no. I don't want this call. And I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. You have to go back again. And which is going to be tedious for both you, the user, and the developer, because the user is going to spend more money. And the developer are going to spend more time on it. And going to, let's say maybe I are going to get more money, but still it's still frustrating to actually do something. And then the user will say, no, this is not what I want. It's still frustrating because you actually build your energy and your skills, and then the user will say, no, this is not what I want. I want something different. So something like that. So that's what SQL is. SQL is actually something that has to do with structural database. That's what SQL is. Strict Sigma. It doesn't actually, if you build a structural schema, that updates is very, very hard to do in particular in this schema. If you build a model, it's going to stay like that to the end of time. It's not like to the end of time. Yes, you can edit it, but you're going to be it's very, very hard to update to particular edit it. While SQL, this is what you're going to use, MongoDB. My favorite type of SQL, my favorite database, because it's what I've been using. Because I like something to be flexible. It's very actually flexible. Flexible schema, you can actually change it anytime you like, even though it's not advisable to be changing your schema anyhow, because you want to have a particular structure. But it's better because as a new developer, even this one is better, MongoDB. because you might make a mistake. You say, okay, no, I want something to add on that one. Okay, let me just go and change it. But the new life of development, if you are going to be a professional developer, advanced developer, these programs you have to learn how to use it. Maybe to be actually be together with them, both of them, because you want to have a structural leader. Just like how, let's just example for a bank. A bank, a bank web application have to develop trust for particular user. So if the user is in every single day, you are changing schema, you are changing the input, you are changing something. No, you are changing. This bank is not serious. You don't. You just want to go away with my money. I want to leave this bank. Let me cover my money and just go. So using a structural database, which means you have to have a structure. Like every single application, every single update is going to have the same input, the same schema. Then okay, they say, okay, these guys are serious. So that's why having a structure is very important. Just unlike the documentation, which is what I actually use, that one that has this is just on documentation. This one, how do I say strong relationship? Yes. This relationship, it means how do I say this one? Okay, this is an example. Example between the user and order table. Let's say order. In a SCA Jumia or something like that, a user is going to order a particular, say, a bike with color blue and everything. So the user will make an order. Then the table will go into the particular products table, and will get that particular order, that particular bike. Okay, that particular bike. Then we'll come to order table. The order table is going to have an ID. The order ID, and it's going to have relationship between two tables. The product table and the user table, which means the product table is going to give that specification of the products, and the user table is going to give that order relationship between like the name, the address, and everything of the user. So that order will consist of two relationships. There's going to be relationship between two things, the user and the product table. Because if you are going to say you're going to have like each user is going to have its own different order table, different table for a particular order is going to be tedious, because the user might make another order again. So that's where order ID comes in. That's why every single thing, even if they're going to have like particular order in a particular restaurant or something, is what you call that ID. That ID is very important, because to actually differentiate that order from, maybe if you are going to make two different orders, yes, this one is different from this one. We are not going to mix them together. So again, any question? Am I good. Private, like when, for example, logging into Facebook. Yes. That's what example. Good. Yeah, Daniel, can you please mute your mic? So this is what you call tables and collection. Tables is what comes a collection, just like how we use in biology. A cell, after a cell, then tissue, after a tissue, then system, after a system, then particular body, so something like that. So that's how this thing is come. A particular row in a table that makes one user, one information about the user. Well, let's say name. Particular table also will come to be a user. Collection of tables will be users. That means collection of users. This will have similar thing. That's similar thing. If you are going to use this example, it's going to be used in OOP, object-oriented programming, which is the table. I can't even remember. I think the table. Oh, it's a long time, but something like that. Similar things that are going to be in. They have similar, how do I say, similar schemas, like name, email, password. Every user has that, so that's the collection of many users. It's called what you call a collection. So records and documents. A single entry within a table are what you call a record, and document is the entire document. So look for fast iteration. You see this one, fast iteration. If you are going to be always changing, always is like, how I see this, is like a product that is not yet verified, not yet done. Your idea is not yet finished. So that's why using this one is very important. As a beginner, just use MongoDB. I'm going to show you how to even use MongoDB. So database design with AI. AI can generate a complete data model from a short description. So this is what actually I want us to actually have to actually see. Everything here is actually there. So database schema, field name, types, and constraints. You see, this is database name. Example, this is the name. The name is user. These are the field which this schema consists. The name is going to be type is string, which means it can only take on string. If I say string, it means alphabetical numbers, alphabet and numbers, combination of alphabet and numbers. If you say numbers, it's going to be number, just number 1029, something like that. Email is going to be string as a combination of alphabet numbers and unique, which means this making this to be unique is very important because you want to make sure that only one email address is in a particular unique email address in a particular, how will I say, particular database, because you don't want a user another user to have the same email address. How are they going to log in? Because they're going to be seeing email address. Sometimes maybe nowadays you usually use two things: the username and the email address have to be different. They are going to be combination of those two, then you are going to access your particular page. But the best one to use, because Google and Yahoo and everything allow us to actually have that one. So I want to take advantage of that. Yahoo, you can only have one particular set of email address. If you have just one, even if you are going to use something that's similar to other one, they are going to say, okay, this one's already taken. That means every single email address is going to be given to other partner. It's going to be give to a particular user. That means every single email address is going to be gifted. Even if you have different email address, they are not going to be the same. They're all going to be unique. That's why this unique one is very important. And then we come to password hashed. Another thing, because even though yes, let's say yes, of course, yes, you are a front developer, yes, you actually secure your database, yes, every single thing, yes, you understand. Even though we are the best in this world, yes, but hackers are relentless. There's no particular page or no particular database that cannot be hacked by a hacker if it has unlimited time, because there is always going to be using different route until he get access to that particular data. That's why they actually used to use AI to maybe attack the particular database or particular backend environment to see where hackers can actually skip to and then correct it later. So this hashed means you're not going to just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. This hash is very, very important. I think maybe you can use it. We're going to see it. You're going to see it in the front view, because I don't know how to actually explain it to you. But the short example is using code, using to encrypt the particular password. That means instead of writing one, maybe I want to write, let's say, A or B or something like that. There are a lot of different code that actually use in actually turning a page, but for now we actually have different. We are going to use bicrypts in the future. But let's just go and see it in the future. Role, I just say it's string default to user or admin or something like that, because this is where you're going to be given permission based on the role of a particular user or information. So collection, group data, some data, district, equal to test them. So authentication. Again, we have entered under milestone. So any question? Any question? So no question, no question, no question. Nobody's going to ask any question. If you ask my question, I don't like to be seeing people side being silent. Let's just take a breath a little bit, because so I want to get into another thing. So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask a question. I want to ask a question. Those two questions maybe. I just want to use like an. So please, what is a schema? Can someone tell me what a schema is? No the rest of the handle. What is a schema? Hello class, am I there? Am I audible? Okay, Abdul. Okay. What is a schema? If I say a schema, what does a schema means? So I think I will ask somebody here. First person to ask, Alasan. Yes, I will. Thank you. What is a schema?
It's like a blueprint or like a structure of how data is organized.
Okay. Same the word organize, how data is stored. Okay. I think Maria has already. Okay, Maria again. Let me just give you. I like to hear what you can say. What is a schema? Not like from text.
Good afternoon. I
Good
already
afternoon.
said, yeah, I sent my answer.
Yes, I know.
Schema,
I want to hear it.
yeah, schema is like a blueprint or structure of the data collection. Data collection for database.
That's very good. I like that. I like that one. Because if I say data, if I say that one, thank you. So next question is okay. What do you mean by CRUD operation? What is CRUD operation? Can somebody else just give me a brief explanation about CRUD operation? I'm not going to tag the same people. I'm going to tag somebody else. So I think I've seen a new face. Zaharaddin, am I audible? Zaharaddin, can you hear me? You can hear me. You have to unmute your mic. Okay, hold on. I didn't want to answer this question. So Joel Habila, am I audible? Joel Habila. Wow. Okay. I won't tax the question. One day, what do you answer? Okay, next one is Abdul Halim. No, don't worry, Maria. Then just keep quiet, Maria. I understand. I know you know. I'm asking somebody. Abdul Halim. Mute your mic. What is crude operation?
So what did you say?
Crude operation. CRUD. Crude operation. What just this one Maria just sent to the chat box. Crud operation. Sorry, I said crude. Crud. What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I don't know.
That's the point. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Answer the question. Crud operation.
Fraud operation is just an operation for C standing for create, R standing for read, U standing for update, and D standing for delete. So it's just like an HTTP method where you can create or where you can post or get data or just an HTTP method. That's what it is. That's
Okay. Understand. That is exactly what I want to hear. So crud operation. U start C stand for create, R stand for read, U for updates, and D for delete. Those are the operation. Yes, Abdalim, exactly. Don't forget. For sure. Let's continue. I'm seeing time is not in our hands, so I want us to actually do something very, very nice. So authentication basics. User registration. User creates a new account, which is here. Actually ask this question because in this time, this is where actually creates the C comes in. User create new accounts. After that, he will log in. Login, which is to verify. That means this way I want to actually use the R request to actually go and see the database. Is this user and this email available in a particular in this database? Yes, it is. So this one, this is where actually you're going to log in and event. Password hash never so plain text password. Exactly. This is very, very, very important. Even though you have the most secure database in the world, don't secure it in a database because yes, you serve as the particular developer, you are not allowed to access what your user actually doing. Even though that is what's behind the scene, but things like use like password, even you, the developer, you are not allowed to see them to see what they are doing actually. If a user saw it in saw his password as something, you or developer, you are not allowed to see it. Because what is happening in this kind of company, big company, and actually, now we have a lot of developers. So if you're actually storing them in a plain text, somebody is going to leak that information to hackers and they're going to destroy your company or something like that. Maybe you actually fire somebody. Yeah, oh, he's not in good time with you, the boss. Say, okay, you see what I'm going to destroy your company. Just want to sell the information to hackers. That's all. I want to breach your database and destroy everything, which is not what you want. So always have this one. So endpoint session server remembers a login user. That's how every single thing is. If you actually log into your look at this one here. I've logged into I cannot remember since when I log in this one. This is my Google account. Since when I can't remember. So that's what you call a session. A session is if you log in, and that's a lot of definition. Even this one here, you can actually call it a session. We're actually having a session, a particular time that we're actually going to have together or something like that. That's how a session ends, has a beginning and it has an end. Of course, they say a session has a beginning and has an expiry date. So this login is going to expire after a particular time. Maybe if I don't actually log in again, that's maybe if I how do I say if I sell this laptop or something, I log out, so that's where it's end. That means you end your own self, but it has expiry dates like maybe 30 days, 40 days. One this is going to go after logging again because you want to have like a session. That's what you call a session, a beginning and end. It has to have that particular time. So server remembers a login user. JWT authentication and JWT, that this one is actually what is this one actually called? JSON. I can't even remember what WT is, but you can actually are going to see this one. Sign token for stateless authentication. So before going into the live session, because I don't want to be explaining on this one, how login actually works is up to I would say 4 to 3 steps. The first one, you said the user creates, let's say you are going to log in. You log in into the database. That means you have already created your account. Then you're going to log you in. So the API request from the front end is to go and check the database. Is this information available in this particular place? Yes, it is. Then they will send on request. Yes, it is. But what the database is sending are two things. For the case of this one here, session, they want to send a token, which is going to be the combination of a password and email, or maybe some word, some generated token. These are what is going to be like the key for that user to access his information. If you don't have a token, that means it's useless. You cannot actually access the information. That's where it differentiates from a token from. That's how we use to differentiate the rules. That token will take your role, your name, your email, maybe particular role and email. Let's just use this token, the rule, because there's something that you cannot access because of your rule. You don't have that permission. So if you actually access the user, the database is going to check that token. Say, okay, no, you don't have access. You can't access this one. So that's where the token is going to be what you're going to be exchanging from two things. Okay, the user is going to say, I want to see this one. Let me see your pass. Exactly, that thing is the pass. Let me see your pass. You check the pass. Yes, you have access. Take this one. No, you don't have access. Go, you don't have access, something like that. So that's where sign token for setless authentication. So authentication and user submits of login form, server verified credentials, of course. Password hash is checked, even though it's a hash password, but the password is a way to actually unhash it. We are going to see this one in real life. We're going to see this one in real life. Even if I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, but the user is going to the password, the particular database is going to see it as is going to have the passkey to actually crack that authenticate that encryption, actually see, okay, this hashing and this hashing are the same thing. They're the same one. Okay, yes, that password is correct. Tokens, session creation, I just actually explain this one, and access granted. Just this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make sure everything is secured. These three things here. But it is now there's actually something that's actually applied maybe in, I think, this side here. It's not just checking the user password and email. It's also checking your IP address or your location, because that's how you actually see if you're actually your location. Because and they want to be systematic. They want to use sense. There's no way you are located in Kano and you log in Kano like the past like hour. Then after like 30 minutes, then your location will show up Lagos. No, 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 no. That means somebody is hacking. Somebody has your credential and is trying to hack into your accounts. That's what they are using actually nowadays. Something like that. That is going to use the IP address. That means your location. So, but they have to give them access before they use it. I'm not actually going to use the location hands on. Or maybe the location of a particular, your IP address of a particular device. You have to have maybe your laptop or your phone. Those are the only things that like access your password, your email, your site or your particular page, something like that. So, I don't want to see those one. I like to leave this one at the end of everything. Okay, at the end of everything, debugging AI. And best practice. Okay. I just want us to skip into the past one file, but let's see. We are going to get back to this one, but let me just explain it here. Well, I don't think I'm going to face any errors while deploying our application, but maybe if you face the errors, you are going to use AI. AI help developer troubleshoot. If I say what is troubleshoot, backend issues at every level, repair every level, because there's no you are going to do something without facing an error. So this is what AI use help in actually having errors. A lot of errors like 500, 500, 200, 300, 404, no page, a lot of them. That's that one. Fix server errors. This one, if you are seeing this error that has no match, that's a server error. Explain error messages. Turn scripted logic into plain English. Because we are developers, we are new. So let's just take it like we are beginners. Even they actually used to use this one just to differentiate between developer and layman. But now for some reason, want layman to be able to create some websites. So that's where some logics are not actually going to be making sense to you. 500, what is 500? 400, what is 404? 400, what is 400? What is 303? What is 200? Something like that. So this one is going to turn that scripted errors into plain English. This one is not there. This one is not there. This one is there. Improve coding quality. Yes. Cleaner, safer patterns. Actually, optimize API performance. Spot slow queries and bottlenecks. Exactly. This one here, slow queries. You have to make everything to be as fast as possible, because the front end is actually making a question like ask. If I say ask, meaning it's querying the particular page, it's querying the particular database. Yeah, the factor backend code is going to structure it without changing behavior. If you have like a particular example, where a particular issue, it's not just going to, it's not just going to change everything because of you make one mistake. No. You're just going to change that particular particular logic to what you like. So that's what AI can help us do. So before moving forward, I think I want to get into the live session of today, the hands-on practical. Any question? Again, I'm going to ask another question. Any question? So no question. Best practice. Okay. Backend best practice. Clean architecture. Just like the blueprint, validation, reject bad inputs before it's spread. Like, let me just use this one example. The way, even though yes, you are hashing password and doing something, but there are some passwords that are going to be very, very easy to crack. Like 1, 2, 4, 7, 8 are very, very easy to crack. So you don't want hackers to ask you. You are going to maybe have a particular validation and verification. Okay, a password must contain caps, something like that. So that this one can actually put them here. Error handling is going to be errors. Those your errors the best friend because that's where actually is showing you yes, you are trying, you are doing it well, but you have missed this one. So that's where error handling. Actually fail gracefully, never silently. Exactly. If something failed, don't be ashamed. Please show me. I want to show it. Environment variables, this is what we call EMB files. So I'm going to be hiding my environment variable in this one because this one is going to be shown to YouTube and to the public access. So I cannot show everything here. Security guide against common attack. And that's simple things that like authorization and talking, those simple authorization. Code organization, consistency, predictive file layout, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to skip this one. Okay. Prompt AI practice for backend development. It's like the first one. Everything is like the first one. Write detailed prompts. I want to see that. Name the framework, database, and feature clearly what you're going to use. Validate AI code, check logic, edge cases, and error handling, just like the first one. All of you are just saying AI is here to replace us, is help us, not replace us. So that means you have to assist the AI. You have to check. AI can make mistake. Even though now, if you actually have a code, there's something on the down ground. ChatGPT at the bottom, ChatGPT can make mistake. Please check for core features. Test API endpoint, you have to test it, test every method with real bad inputs. Protect sensitive information. Never paste real secrets or credentials into AI tools. So please take this one in hand. Take this one. Yes, AI is the best one, but there are some things that you are never ever going to paste, like the API key, which I'm going to show how to generate. There's something I call API key, so we have to make sure you never ever paste it. So understand the logic before deploying. You are responsible for what shifts to production. Exactly the same thing here. Same thing for front-end development. AI is not responsible. If you ship everything after doing anything and make it unsecure or something like that, and they come to access it, the responsibility is going to be in your hand. They are going to come and catch you, not me, not the AI, you, the one that develop it. So we are going to create something today. So before moving to creation, I will just see, let me say, yes, I have 3 minutes before. So any questions? Any question before moving in? So I see no question. Are you sure? No question. So what we are going to use, let me share my screen. That screen. We're going to use ChatGPT. I think I've already made this yesterday. ChatGPT. This one here. I need to make everything. This is going to be a practical. Use AI to generate a secure backend that allows you to register and log in, participant, will learn how to something like that. So this is a project scenario. Just been hired as startup developer dev portfolio. The company is launching a platform where developers can create and manage their online portfolios. Before users can create this portfolio, they must first create an account and login. Simple. The task is to use AI to build the backend authentication system. So what student will build? I want to get this one. This is going to be your lesson. So just your practice, your assignment. So just go and then I'm going to send something here again. I'm going to focus on all the JS, not JS, Express JS, MongoDB, Mongoose, which is going to be hand with this one, Mongoose and Mongo. I'm not going to use this one post. I'm going to use my Gem Thunder client. So I want to use this one. But before we're going to actually have access to, let me just create anti-gravity. Yes, this is what you're going to be using. Anti-gravity IDE. You're going to access it, you're going to download it, and just all that. But I don't want us to waste time doing all of this here. I'm going to say a video on how to help you do that yourselves. So please just stick with me. Let's go to my anti-gravity. Where's my anti-gravity? This is my anti-gravity here. Anti-gravity here. Think concerning you on okay, start on this. Start on this. But first, let me create a particular folder for our assignment today. Folder is AI dash test. Test. Let us do like that. So while I'm doing this, we are free to ask any question we have, any question, any related question, any question. I was supposed to be having a question today, like a lot of questions. I think they have dropped a shell bomb in the group. I think it was on Wednesday, right? Any questions? Let me see together. How to see a thumbs up? Am I audible? Please confirm if you can hear me. Okay, I think I'm still here. I thought I was gone. So we're going to use anti-gravity. Anti-gravity, you are going to take a particular project, new projects. No, no. Yeah, no, not AI web dev. I think I use AIP text. Yes, this one. Select. And this anti-gravity is very powerful. Like extremely powerful. This is my secret weapon. Like every developer now is using anti-gravity. Even though the issue is to use Kusa. So this is what this is going to be the prompt. Generate a complete express backend project for the whole website. Requirement MongoDB with Mongoose, user model registration, endpoint login, endpoint password hashing using bycrypt, JWT authentication, malware pool, and then it's on the project structure and all source code. So let's just copy and paste it here. So now we're going to wait and see how this is working. User build a complete. So while listening, develop. Any questions? I expected question from this time. Any question? Nobody asked any question. Nobody. No question. Anything. Okay. Let's hope so. Please, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask me. Just ask the question. While we are waiting, yeah. Oh yes. I've even forgotten. The how do I say the winners for um last week tax. I'll share it in the group. I'll share in the group. I want to actually extend the time to 2 o'clock because I did not push the assignment until on Wednesday. I think Wednesday morning around 1 o'clock when you're all sleeping. So I was supposed to feel like Tuesday, so I will to be on my end. So I have to push it to 2 o'clock today. So that's why I'm going to give people to submit their assignments again. Small something. This one is actually giving us a lot of things. Some validation, request validation, blah blah blah. Validation validator, sync handler. All of these things just creating it. I have to shut this thing down. So all this one is doing is going around. So let's go to MongoDB. Because it is the one I actually going to use as our database. MongoDB. MongoDB means Mongo database, something like that. So we want to use this as our database. 25. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Chill, 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 chill. See, to get what you done. Oh, still crunching. Oh yes, MongoDB is coming up. No, this server is not generating. Over MongoDB, I think so. Q. Get started or something like that. I already have an account. Accept all these. Sign in. Press permission to NPM interest. About this one. Submit. You see this one, that is where it's assisted. It doesn't just go ahead and install anything for me. No. He has to ask me. So did I install this one? Then you say yes. Then you can install it. You can install it. Install. So this is how MongoDB used to look like. But because I've used it, so that's why it's somehow clustered. I have database, I have place cluster. Before you can actually go, you have to go and create a cluster. I'm telling for is pause. What the hell did you pause this one? Connect. What's cluster? Okay. I have to create a cluster. Creating a cluster, I think for every version, I can only create one cluster. Then on that cluster, you are going to create projects. But this one too, I think I have to send you the link because you don't have time to actually go through every single thing here. I'll send you the information on that. So let's see. Let's look at my projects. Project 0. And then let's stop it. I'm going to use it now and just stop. So I've not used it back before. I've not used it since. So let's see an analyzation. Zero chatting up here. I have only 2 projects. So. Permission, okay. Java fix. So yes. So this is, let's see. This is the structure of a project. I'll wait till still complete out 5. Then the structure of the project is going to start from this small one here. From config, centralized env var plus startup validation, database JS, Mongo's connection and pull events, logger, which sound collapse, console plus file organization. This is the controller. Auth controller, this is going to use. I'm not going to lie to you. No, those them skip. I'm coming. What is happening here? Projects to be expressed. Even do yourself. I don't want to install, but this one is going beyond. That's why I said it's very, very powerful actually and everything. So the logger with sync colors, I don't actually need this one, but sure. I already done it. Register, login, refresh, and everything. Yo. Shut up. Skip. I'm coming. Wait, stop. I'm just give you stuff for now. It's not going to keep quiet. So the database, the middleware, this is where it connect it's going to just like I said, the middleware between this is where the endpoint is. Okay, shut up now. JWT protects, restricts two roles, error handling, global error handling, model and everything, but key design from okay. Yes, this is what I want to see. Bicrypt, yes. Receive hook never stops playing. Password hashing, access token 7 days or something, but still I can still access something. Is this one cluster is being created up to now? Okay. My cluster is back here. Let me see another prompt here. Let's understand this code. I'm trying to just go in. It's just doing too much. That's wrong with anti-gravity. It's just doing so much. Wow, it's using something. That's why. It's just doing too much. So let's just understand the code first. So if you want to see the page, you actually use this one, OpenID. Because now the new version of AI, we don't even have to see the code. We just have to just use this one here. But let's open this ID. Okay, let's see which one. Yes. uh That one is for yesterday. I was practicing how to see this one. So this is the code here. Right. Who asks you? That's why I don't you see this one. We test for testing case. Give me a file. It's reading it has everything here. But doesn't have the EMV file. Just have EMV example. See, this one is for the wow. This one is for local base. Key secret, everything. I can leave this one here because I'm not actually going to be using it. I'm going this one is not actually I can change it if I like. I think we should use the database, right? Let's use the local database. Example, just give me a moment. I see. Uh, give me a moment. Let me share. JWT, thank you. Let me see. Can I access my local database? I've not used it since. So this is not even actually there. But let me just go and check the. Looking at the route. Okay, this is not clear. Mm-mm. Well, let's see. This one. Okay, just okay. That's finished. That's finished. Explain what I want to explain. So stop sharing. Let's see. Share entire screen. Accept this. So I told you explain everything as a beginner. Okay, okay, it's a covered. The restaurant analogy, the whole app application. Okay, customer front end, waiter routes, bouncer, middleware, form check validator, chef, controller, pantry, MongoDB model. So the 7 things you ask about in plain English. Server.js, the power button. Connect to MongoDB first, then start listening to HTTP, HTTP traffic. If database connect fails, the server is going to do something like that. So just like an explanation of everything in plain English. Routes, just a map of which URL goes to which one. Exactly. This is what I'm actually going to. Exactly. Controllers, where the actual logic lives, they read the request, talk to the database, and send the request to something like that. Model, a blueprint. We have said that. Modelware, function that sit between the request and the controller. 3 types here. Auth middleware, check JWT, block other unauthorized users, validate middleware, check the form field, block invalid inputs, error middleware, cache all, just all errors from anywhere send you JWT. A sign ID card issued at login has required header, payload user, and signature. All of them are combination of one because just to make it harder for user to access. The server sign in with a secret. If anyone tamper with it, the structure break, to token use something, blah, 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 blah. So all of this one by crypt, a one-way password hasher, my password to exactly, but can never go backwards. At login, Bicrypt compare the plain password against the stored hash without ever decrypting it. The SALT12 setting makes each hash takes 300 milliseconds, which is fine for human, but they were setting for attackers trying to 10 million guesses. This is every single thing here. Beginners, every single thing. That's why it's very important. You see, now I just ask it as a beginner, explain everything. You want to do something, so you want to understand it. So it has every single thing, even though it's doing for us wasali that I don't what I don't want it to do, but it's good because it can explain. So now let's go back here. This is good. This is the actually example. Copy this file to env file. So first, what I'm going to do is you are going to create an env file. It's going to have .env file. Embedded variable is where you store your secrets. Env file, but I'm not going to store it here because of I think clients are best script as I'm going to leave everything here, copy it and paste it. I'm just going to change this one. If they can change this one here, I can leave it like that because this is just good. I'm not going to be able to produce it, but everything just leave it as such. But this one here, I'm going to change it, but I'm going to actually. But I don't know why did they put this just for me, sure. But sure, just so I'm just going to leave this one here. So first of all, let me go and get this MongoDB. After I create it, if you are creating something, let's say you want to connect cluster. There are processes to actually use, but I don't know where it's going to actually show me. That's why I don't actually want to continue. So just for that, I will just very sorry stop presenting because this is actually going to be on YouTube and I don't want people to hack my system. Very sorry. Let me just continue. Just say drivers. Let's go this one. No worries, no worries. It's not even checking anything. Musha. Let me share back. Let me share back and show you just a little bit because this is not actually entire thing. I'm actually behind time, behind schedule. Because this class is very, very tricky. So this guy is going to be a little bit longer. Very sorry. So if you actually say this one here back, let's say come back here. Please confirm if you can see my screen before I continue. In thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Maria Muhammad. Okay, I'm going to use this one. Connect to application. Access to Atlas and JWTs. I'm going to be using this one. Node.js. So that's why I just tick this one. This one you can actually leave it as such because I've already done this one from what they call gravity. So this is what I'm going to take. This one here. This one, but then this importance of here. This is what they are going to be used actually. But because it's my own, and then done. Hey, sorry. I have to connect. I have to go back. Let's see this one. And then copy this. So done. This is what you are going to use to access your database. Database. So we are going to paste this one here. Yeah. And maybe change this one to another name at zero database. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I'm actually trying to access something, but let me see. How will I say? I don't want to put this one. Sorry. No page. Vaso. I have everything in Vaso also. Yeah, okay, there's no more person. Copied. Mongo URL. Where are you, my MongoDB URL? I've forgotten the password though. So I have to copy this one from another place. Oh, this is not working. Value. This is not value. See, where did I save this one? Wow, I cannot remember my password. Oof, what's going to be iffy? What is my password? What is my password? What is my password? I don't even know how to get the password self. Wait, yes, I've sent my email once, so wow, have I deleted it? Oh my goodness, I've deleted it. Please, yeah, come on, don't want to. I think I've deleted it. Sounds as yeah. I know there have to be something trash now. Yes, thank God. I've seen the password. Oof. So let's see. Let's start MongoDB.net, something like that. So now let me start sharing my screen again. Oof, very sorry for everybody here. We are still stuck with me. Thank you for this while. So wait. Stop sharing for moments. This is very, very important. I don't want it to be out there. So let's just go to here. I think PMV and everything. So let's go. Now I can share. Good. Now let's go back here and test it. So I think it's npm on the right. What is it now? Let me check my package or something. npm starts. Sorry, it's npm starts. Let's do ART. Let's see. This is how I'm going to start my particular MongoDB duplicate schema, include email found, be connected, something server running. Okay. The server is MongoDB is connected and the server is running. So how are we going to test it? We're going to test it because I've actually I've loaded one thing yesterday. It's called Thunder client. This is what you're going to use. How am I going to even use it? I cannot even remember how to use Thunder client. How am I going to this is just this is Thunder client. So if I want to create new requests, if you guys don't know about come on. Guys, Thunder client itself now. So, but we can use Postman. I can actually always go and also I'll access I have to ask the CEO before posting this one. No, don't want my security belt. Postman. I don't even have Postman. No. I have to use the online version. Computer reference. No, we don't. Give me something free. Thank you, Postman. Okay. Wow. And public API. Actually using Postman here. Let me see. I'm supposed to make a post, but yeah. Yes, I'll come back to you. Hmm. This one too is going to give us problem, or it's going to take time. I've done this one a long way. Over is where you actually use to access and to access to test backend to text particular back. In fact, this one is one of the school that I've actually worked with. I've used a lot of things, but a lot of testing approach and project. Like, good. Auth. So let's try this one, but it's local. That is the main thing. It is local. Hi, this one don't do allow. Why can I not do this one? New request. The free version does not support use in IDE. I can't. It's taking too much time to again. I wanted to actually show you how this is working. So let me see what to do. And it's already per time. And the other postman, how long will it take? Um, don't have it. Don't have it in my current system. It won't take long time before it actually finishes unloading. 60. So let's see. But time is already there. So, and I want to show you how to use this ones here. I don't even know this one was not working here. But sure. Let's see if I can get to it before time. I'm just going to test one, just test it once because we are out of time. And maybe I will send a video of me like this one here testing it. So let's just try and just stick to it. Postman, you don't login. So let's run this one. Just see. Another client becomes so cheeky. This is another IDE or another, I would say, resources that developers use testing their backend. But I think Cloud has already, this one, where is this one? Has already done something for us. Maybe you can test it using this. So let me just go with test, how to test this application. Because Postman is going to take time. Already, okay. Well, no, it's taking time. Wow. So let's see. That one is the best one. Play that. This is all my fault. Are we still together? It's a long time. Let me cancel this one before I show my password again. Are we still together? Postman now it's beginning to open. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for sticking with me. Let's go something like test it. That's the for me. Third one, so it has something I can see, especially small, but maybe I can write. I don't want to access something like that. Okay, okay, submit. I will change my password. I'm going to change my password. Wow, I meet my quota. I want to use another account. So let me use another account because this account is off quota reach. So you can see me, I have like 4 accounts now. Successfully, okay. Let's see. Game test. Yes, yes, yes. Do whatever you want. Let's just test this. Post my up to now is not logging. Awesome. I've opened it. Nothing is showing. So let's just use this one because we're out of time. The problem is I'm going to take a video by myself to test this thing, like really test it because this is going to be your assignment here, and I'm not even proud of myself about this. I do not know Thunder client is actually is not used for public for the free version. Yes, yes, allow everything. Oh, this one just coming to an error self. It's just coming to that one. The error is still persistent. Is it going to work? Right, so backend is very complex, but the main thing is this one. Thunder client would have been so much easier to just use it. But I've been using before I used to use the, let me say, maybe lower version of anti-gravity. That's why, but maybe they upgraded this version because I just upgraded one, just start using it now. Maybe that's why Thunder client is not actually used now. It's not used in this one. So I think I'm going to send a video on how to use Postman. It's still not opening. No, it's up to now. I've not even finished it. Now on the test with the local binary under error. Yes, I mean it's test. So what you're actually running, because let me just get back here and just show you what this one is going behind this is this one here. Okay, it's actually running this one here. This particular page. Actually running here. Running everything like this one here, this test. This is what it is running to see whether it is the login. The first one is the register. This is what is the user is going to test. Test user 1, 2, 3 and everything. So missing different testing things. This is what I actually use. Oh, oops, no, we're not there. I've already put my things on. Wow, I need to even download some. It's not locally. Oh. I put my. And this testing is not going to give up. Oh. So, I don't have MongoDB. Yes, I don't have MongoDB on this one. I use MongoDB Atlas. Well, it's still loading. Let's see who I know is are we still here together. Also now we have a lot of personal people. So again, thumbs up for everybody that is here up to now. Let me clap for now. Let me clap for you. You tried though. Thank you. Thank you for still being with me. This backend is not easy. That's why I used to say the backend is actually a lot harder, but it's more fun than the front end. The issue with this one here is I was not expected to use Postman at all. I was going to use Postman, Thunder client. This Postman, no one come. Postman, I've been opening, it's not coming. No, it's actually going to use but let me check something. Yes, EMB, but I want to get something. I already have my email file because I don't have I'm going to be here right now. So why is it not connecting? And this one too is already on point, right? So where is the server? Let's just go to the server and just take something. About 500. Let's see something. Tell me about this one is going to be 500. 500. 5,000, right? So yes. Routes slash not gets. Just say slash. I haven't used this one self before. Slash login. So the get file, this is posts. So what is the get file? Just connected, so it's running and whatever. Let's check this one health. Oh yeah, I have to have health. This is the routes here. What routes? Slash API slash that slash API slash that. But let me see, is this one done? This one's not done. So I don't want to hold you up tonight here, but let's say API slash login. Fair route not found API slash login. Hey, no. This is the route now. Okay. No. Hello. Hi, am I audible? Wow, my network threw me out too. We'll try again. So what is going to happen? I think because we're already past our time and it's already um 110. So I want to ask you, everybody, should we end this call and then maybe I will send the video of the testing and the video on how to download anti-gravity and everything because I don't want to hold it all year. So let me hear from you. Was there any thumbs up? Should we on the call now? Yes, and send the video. Thank you, Maria. I think that would be the best option because network is giving give me issue and actually anti-gravity is taking its time to finish this test. Testing in progress, whatever, 70%, 11 testing, but it's still taking time. So I think what we are going to do, I'm going to end this call and inshallah I'll send everything to the video by the end of today because now too we all have to pray and I think we are all tired. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you, sirs. So please, you may all take your leave. How wonderfully I will send the uh I will send the tax by the group today. Inside the group today. You may take your leave. Just end the call. End the call. I cannot end the call for everyone. I just want to only be able to finish. That the dean earlier. Thank you, everybody. You may take a leave. Oh.